Well, hello. I feel like, did I say it already yesterday that this is kind of like my opening line for the stream? Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to stream number 5 in building a React dashboard, checking it out, what's React, how to build stuff with it, and figuring stuff along the way. So let me drop a hi in the chat. And yesterday we were struggling to get the grid correct, but we did it. We managed eventually. It was fun, and it was kind of like a collective effort to try and to manage that. But right before me saying, okay, I give up, that's it, that's enough for the day, I saw it. I saw the reason why it was all not working. And we have it today. So if you are kind of coding along with me, then be sure to, if you didn't check yesterday's stream, then maybe check that one, or just take all the updated files from the GitHub page and we can code and continue coding together. As always, if you have any questions or if you want to say something like hi and say how are you. Hey Akarsh, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. And yeah, as always, this is like an open conversation with everybody about coding, whatever you want to ask. Feel free to drop the questions in the chat box. Also, regarding the stream in 1080p, I think yesterday it was a good one, and today I'm still like streaming with the same settings, so it should be good. Hoping that my internet is not gonna cause any issues, but yeah, it seems like I figured out the CPU, I figured out like the stuff, you know, so I think it's working now. As a refresher, let's check what we're building as always, because maybe not all of us remember what we're doing here. And here we go. So Dashi Dashboard, as always. Side nav, right, with icons that I kind of created or took from Figma and then exported as SVGs. Then we have a top nav where we have our brand name, which is Dashi Dash, you'll see just in a second. And we have this search field, which we did yesterday. It looks like the whole field is a search input, right? Like it's a search component, but it's not. And we managed to do it in a way that the user would still be able to click on search here or on this arrow, which I guess essentially they're doing the same, right? Like if I see this, how do you call it, magnifying glass, I would assume that this kind of like, if I would click on it, then it would prompt me to the search results of my term, right? But then why do I need this arrow? I'm not sure, but anyway, it's fine. What else? Oh, so we said that we're not gonna have these links because it's a little bit weird that we have them here and then the same here. Like it's kind of feels like a duplication, right? Like an unnecessary one. So we're not doing that. Instead, we push the search bar fully like to the right. And then we started doing this little bit here. And we were trying to figure out the grid yesterday. And here's what we have. Boom. The beauty that we did collectively yesterday. I still have all the files open. Whew, that was a toughie, seriously. But for a person who didn't use grid almost ever, apart from one time that I had to touch it in another code, I would say it's a very, very, very good progress so far. I'm not gonna do like a recap how we did it, because that's kind of like half of the stream yesterday. So if you're interested in that, please be sure to check that one out. And if you still don't have the files, then be sure to take it from GitHub. And I need to go and bring a glass of water before we start, and my throat gives up on me. So grab the files or grab something to drink, and see you in 2 minutes. Okay? Just a moment. Alrighty, so pouring some water. I wonder if you can hear that. Yeah, you probably can hear that. So, what day is it today? It's Tuesday, right? Only Tuesday. Ugh, I expected it was gonna be Wednesday. By the way, what do you feel about like, so I want to stream like Monday to Friday, but I'm not sure if people are here on Fridays. Like, I can be here, but I don't know if you're here. So if you have any thoughts, maybe I can create a poll. Wait a second. Let me create a poll. Stream. There we go. There's a poll now, and you can vote. So whenever you have some ideas, Monday to Friday. Thank you very much. So I'm gonna leave the poll open just in case somebody else wants to vote. And usually people are joining a little bit later, so we have a little bit of a slower start to our streams, which is very nice. So I think that maybe we should start by creating. Okay, so if we look at our design, we should have. Let me put some music. So if we look at our design, we should have cards, right? And those cards are very alike. So what's the pattern that we can see here? They all have the same color, the same border radius. They all have a title, right? All of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And they all have these little 3 dots on the right side, like an options bar, I guess. I guess you could kind of maybe remove or do something with it. I don't know exactly what was the intention behind those 3 dots there. But the content inside of that card is the only thing that changes. So there are several ways that we can go around this. I'm still not sure what I would like to select and to go with. I guess We'll be able to say that once we're like closer to the point of doing that. But I think we could start with creating one single component and defining that the title is going to be a prop that is going to be passed to us from a parent, right? I think this we could do. So let's start with that. And to start with that, I always keep this Dribble open here, but I think we can also open it here. Let me sit up straight. There we go. Lift up my table a little bit and we can start. Hello, Harsh. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. We're continuing today. Okay. So, where was I? Right. Let's create a component. And by the same kind of like methods, you go into component folder, then you create another folder. We're gonna call it card because we're very sophisticated as always. And then inside of card, we create index.js. Wait, let me make this smaller. And I'm gonna close all, and then I'm gonna just leave the index.js open. Close others. Okay. So in index.js, we do etc import export card, which we're gonna create in a second. So we're importing the card from our card file, which we still don't have, and we're gonna create it now. Card dot gsx. Yep. And not cards, card. And then we do RCC, which is again the extension of Visual Studio Code that I downloaded that gives me like this kind of hotkeys. Is it hotkeys? No, it's like a, how do you call it? A sequence of letters that, it's not a hotkey. I don't know, but you know what I mean. It's like this, something like a 3 letters that you write and then you click on tab and then it auto-completes everything. So card, and then we're also going to have our styles, which we import from cart.modules.module.css. What it is with me? So today everything is going to have S at the end apparently. And we need to create it, which is going to be card.module.css. Cars, I told you, everything is going to be with an S today. I don't know what's the issue. Doing great. Hope your allergy situation is better today. Yeah, much better. Thank you. I don't know what it was yesterday. I probably just ate something and it gave me some weird reaction. But today is much better. Thank you. I'm able to see and I'm able to breathe so far. But yeah. So let's import one of the cards, right? How are we going to do that? Where did we have it? So we had all of this grid in our dashboard, and we would need to replace this. So at first it's going to be this first section, and eventually it's going to be all of those sections that are going to be replaced by our card components. So let's import one. Import card from card. And you see that we don't need to do /card, and that's because of our index.js, right? So with icons, we don't have the index.js because we have too many files there, and it's like, it's fine, we can just leave it like this. But with card, we do have it. You could actually even add to the icons also in index.js if you're interested, but it's okay. Greetings from Seattle. Wow. Hey, revisualize? Is that correct? Hello, hello. Thanks for joining. What time is it in Seattle? Early morning? Not early, like lunch-ish. So, card. And here we're going to include our card. Save it. Hey, look at that. You see, our section 1 was replaced with the paragraph card because that's what we have here. We have a p tag and we have div. What am I saying? It always takes me like a few seconds, that's a lie, a few good minutes to get to kind of like the stream and understand that I'm actually talking to people and not to myself, and then I need to make sense. So we have our card now. 10:34 a.m. Okay, that's not too early. It's also not too late. Nice. A good morning to you then. All right. So Bootstrap also has some card stuff, card styling. Let's check what they have. So we select this one, but we're not going to select our dashboard section. We're going to select the div inside of it. And if we give it the class card, you see, it did this kind of like magical thing. And I think we should go for this. Oh, or since our dashboard item has that, what if we add it here? And we remove the background. Okay. But on the other hand, it starts adding borders, and then we need to remove the borders. No, I don't want that. I don't like it. I don't want to use Bootstrap's card. So Bootstrap's card, I want to show you what it is. So if you go to Bootstrap and you want to use any of those, usually you can search here. So if I put card, it gives me stuff. For example, cards, or here are all the components. So for example, if you don't know which elements you can use and you do want to use Bootstrap, then you can just go in here and kind of just like go through them and see what they are. They have like very good explanation what they look like. They have code examples, so it's pretty neat. So here's how usually a Bootstrap card looks like, and it's usually when you have an image and then a body and then a button for it. So not really what we are looking for. So the body looks more like something we want, but look, this is how our card looks like. We don't have a border. I mean, the only thing that is kind of like the same with our card is that it has a border radius, and that's it. I mean, the color white comes from the default. So and then I also think that this border is even a little bit smaller to my liking. So anyway, let's skip the native Bootstrap class, and we're just gonna do our own, because also doing our own can be also kind of fun, right? So I'm wondering if we should give it like the styling to the section, so not to the section specifically, but to this one, or if we should give it inside of the card. Because, I mean, following the logic that I explained yesterday, what I usually view the React components as like really autonomous things that, for example, if you take water and put it into a glass, then it's going to adapt to the glass, right? But it's still going to be water. I don't know if that explains what I mean, but kind of like the core of the element needs to be the same, and then the width of it and the height of it could adjust to like the container that the parent wants to put it into. But yeah, does it make sense what I'm saying right now? So following this logic, we would need to put the styling inside of the card component. So like the border radius stuff, the paddings. Yeah, it totally makes sense to put it there. Yeah, unless you think it doesn't, let me know. But I think it does. Right? Okay, I'm gonna go with that. So let's go to card, and then in the styles of the card, we're gonna do here dot card, and we're gonna write border radius, and it's gonna be what? Let's give it like 10 pixels. And now we need to apply it to our div. It's gonna have a class name of styles.card. I didn't do anything. Border radius. Maybe I need to remove the section thing. That's gonna be an issue, right? Or maybe not. Okay, so let's give it a background color of white. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And a height. Let's check if a height of 100% here will work. Yeah. So in this case, remember last time I told you that height 100% doesn't work always and everywhere? It doesn't. But I suspect that here it did because we have like a border specifically defined. Not a border, like the dimensions are kind of defined, right? Because we say, hey, section number 1, go specifically from this to this point and from this to this column and fill in this thing there. But it's not always the case. So be aware of that. But in this case, it worked. So whoop whoop. And let's do a smaller one. Let's do like 5 pixels. Yeah. And it's going to be a little bit bigger like this, right? Later on, we're going to do responsive. So all of our cards are going to be like stacked on top of each other. And they're not going to be just like squished like little sausages. So now let's remove probably the background red, which is in here. There we go. And now how does it compare? Well, first of all, we should have much bigger padding here. Where did we do that? We had it... do you remember where did we have the padding? Was that from the main in the app? In the index, yeah. Let's do 1.5 REM. Or maybe 2. Shall we there? Yeah, we can give them some space, right? And then in the dashboard, margin top. No, gap also I want to be 2. And then margin top also 2. Yeah, this looks like a little bit more space to me, but I think I'm not gonna continue going into too much details here because we're risking to start styling too much for something that we don't even know how it's gonna look like with all the data. So we're gonna stop styling it for now. We're gonna focus on building this component. I removed the red color, and then how does it look like? So it has a title. So it feels like it has an overall padding here, this card, right? Also kind of like the same as this sizing. It has the same here, which in our case is gonna be way too much. So, I mean, if we put it like this, does that look like the same amount of padding to you? It does, right? I think it does. Also now, because we changed our paddings, we have this scroll, which shouldn't be there. But one step at a time, we're gonna change it later. This is fixable. All right, so card. Let's give it a padding then. Where is our card? Here's our card. Our CSS, let's put down the CSS. So how much well, let's give it then padding of 1 rem, right? And let's see. I think it should be more. 2? Yeah, 2 is okay. It's okay that it grew, that's also fine. And here, for example, it's gonna be what? Best selling product. Let's write it. Save it, yeah. Okay. So what I'm thinking is that it shouldn't be a paragraph tag, it should be like an H6 maybe. What about H5? No, H6 was fine. And the H6 should have class name of styles.headline. And this headline is going to have a font weight of 600. I think we imported yesterday. Save it in both places. Yeah. Okay. And also the color of our text should be, doesn't auto suggest. Where is our main? Here we have, this is the color of all of our text, which as you can see now, it's a little bit annoying, you know, to always like keep track of the name of, not of the name, of the value of our text. If that would have been in a CSS variable, there would have been no biggie. You would just like put it once and then just use the name of the variable. But we're probably going to change it later. But now go through the pain with me, so then you will learn to appreciate it more. That's a very stupid saying, but in development it can work. Guru says Visual Studio Code theme name. Let me tell you. Color theme is Noctis. I change themes quite often, but I think recently in the streams I have been using this one. It's quite a nice one. Then we should have the icon on the right side, right? So let's go to our card and we're going to import our icon. Icons, icon. And if you remember, the way how we're using an icon is by defining the prop icon and passing it the name of the icon that we want to use. And if you don't know the name, then you can go to icon, and in here we have a little library. It's like what, 12 icons that we're using, and it's like just names that I gave them. But you can also change that if you're interested in using other names or maybe adding more icons, something that suits your flavor more. But this is where you're going to be doing that. So options refers to the options icon. which we're hopefully going to see being rendered now. There we go. Nice. So now it needs to be in the same line. And what do we do to make things on the same line? Hint, my most favorite thing to do. Do you remember what it is? Not my favorite thing, but how to put things in one line. Let me know. I'm gonna give you a second to think about it. Can give you a hint. It's the opposite of grid. At least the opposite of grid to me. All right, it's Flexbox, the favorite Flexbox. So I usually open the inspector because I like seeing how it works. However, we have now a tiny issue. So we have this div container, right? Our div, which ideally would have a class name of flex, or like a property of flex. So then whatever is inside of here, it's gonna flex, and it's gonna be all in one row or in one column, depending what you define it as. But we want the flex, so we want only these two elements to be side by side. We don't want the whole content of the card to be in one line, right? DF, yeah, correct. So we need to wrap it in a div, or actually we can wrap it in a header. Can we? Because it has auto functionality. I wouldn't wrap it in a header. That might not be correct. So because we have a Bootstrap class for that, we can just do display flex and save it. And there we go. It's in one line. And now we want to add justify content space between. It seems justify content. No. Justify space between, is that like this? Look at me, it doesn't do Bootstrap for a day and already forgets it. What's the name of the class? Justify content between. Okay. There we go. There we go. And so if I remove the justify content space between, you see that it's not really aligned together. So it's because we have here a margin, and we can do a margin bottom 0, and then this deflex, we give the, well, keep this, then we can give it align items center, and they're gonna be centered. And then we add this, and there we go, beautiful. So we got that, right? Align items center, and then in here we want to chain our Bootstrap and non-Bootstrap, like so. You can do a margin bottom 0, or you can just add margin bottom to the headline. Both options are possible, so just go with whatever you prefer, as always, you know. So there we go. We have our headline and we have our little icon. Now we want this thing, so the best-selling product, selling, the best-selling product, took me a while to see that, should be a prop coming from the parent. So we're gonna remove this, cut it out, and we're gonna go to our dashboard, and we're gonna pass here headline is going to be best-selling product as a string. You actually don't need the curly brackets here then. Best-selling product. And in card, we're going to deconstruct our props straight away. Or if you don't deconstruct, then you can just do props, but I prefer to deconstruct them straight away. And in here, we're going to have headline. I put it outside. It needs to be inside. So see, when I put it outside, it just read it as a headline. When I put it inside the curly brackets, it knows that it refers to the prop because it knows that it's JavaScript. So let me just see. Harsh says, preparing a resume as a fresher is more difficult than this. I'm always confused with the projects that I should put in. Got any suggestions? Good question. I think, of course, put first the projects that you're mostly proud of, that you think are gonna give you like the maximum bonus points. But don't be... So I think it depends, right? How do you feel about your skills in terms of all the projects that you have? Let's say you have 5 projects, and then one of them is a little bit of like when you just started, like very unstructured, unorganized. But maybe it has an awesome idea, so you still want to show that you gave it a try. Or if you feel like this does not represent your best, then don't put it better. If you are thinking about putting new projects or like creating projects for your portfolio, then you probably know what are the requirements in most of the companies that you're going to be applying for, right? There is like a market's average, and I guess you should prepare something that is built with those technologies. I know many people like to do a to-do app. I personally don't, but like, I don't know, it's a hard question to answer. Maybe if I answer it if I were to create today a portfolio as a new web developer or as a junior web developer, what would I put there? I would probably focus on one semi-complex project for junior level, right? Not like for advanced level or anything. One project where I cover different things, like maybe I do their routing, maybe I do their some user input and then showing the users something based on their search. Maybe I work with an API. Maybe if I really try, I could create the API myself. And again, it doesn't mean that you create everything yourself. You can do it like just as a code along with some other tutorial or something, but you are going to be coding it yourself, change maybe the idea to something that appeals to you, and that's how you can code things. So if the question is, for example, should I do many smaller projects or one bigger one? Maybe one bigger one could be better, because chances are that you're going to be working for a company that has a product, right, which is more on the bigger side. But it's also not necessarily just like true, because you could also work for an agency that is working for different ones and has smaller projects. I feel like I'm not really helping you now with this answer, but I think like don't be too confused about it. Don't overthink it too much, because at the end, I think anything that you code and that you like put your attention to and you put your skills into and you try to make it look nice and deliver, so to say, then I think it's going to be good to have in your portfolio. Also, what I can recommend is to have a GitHub profile and to push to GitHub consistently, because those green dots in the GitHub thingy, they're doing magic on people, seriously. Yeah, we had several candidates. We're doing like tech reviews, and I know that the recruiters, they're like, oh, we checked the GitHub has so many like green things. So no, I get it. It happens to be very subjective. Yeah, I think it's very subjective indeed. And I think it also depends really on the market where you're applying to. So yeah, I think here in Berlin, if I would do, for example, like a, I don't know, like a finance app or like a Bitcoin miner or something, it would be like, whoa, yeah, because of the tech scene, you know. But maybe in other places there's like something else that is more valued. I'm not sure. You could like, maybe as an idea, you could check like some companies that you would like to apply to, and if it's, for example, I don't know, maybe a search engine, then build a tiny small search engine. And it doesn't mean that for every company that you're going to be applying to, you need to create like their own project that is kind of like similar to them, but that can give you more ideas what to create, and maybe it's going to appeal to them. So you could try that. But I don't know, Harsh, do you have already any ideas what to build for your portfolio, or which projects do you have there? UI UX design tips and review says, does a developer need to know about UX design? Why does it feel like a trap question? I guess you need to define what does a developer need to know about UX design. But I think that, yeah, a generic feel and understanding of like the basics would be nice. I don't think that a junior developer should know about UX design necessarily, unless they come from that background or have a specific interest in that. But later on, the more you develop your skill, then I think it's kind of inevitable not to know. It's inevitable. Yeah, it's inevitable not to know about UX design. It's kind of like, it's part of your job. Yeah, you may be not creating the UX experience or like designing it, but you are coding it, right? And you're still gonna have a say in it, I guess. Yeah, you do. So developer needs to know about UX design. I mean, they will know. So yeah, that's my answer. But then there's also like this hot topic now. Well, I say hot topic, but it's just I've been seeing recently. I don't know if it's being pushed by some bigger companies, but there's like a lot of discussion about if designers should know about code. This one actually has been asked always the other way around, like a UI UX designer need to know about front-end dev. That's why I wanted to know your idea about it. Thanks so much, makes sense. Yeah, that's exactly what I was starting to say, that I hear that this topic is very common now. Should UI UX designers need to know about front-end dev? And I saw some discussions in like, some people are like, yeah, I know HTML, CSS, and a little bit of a JavaScript. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot to know. I don't know. I mean, would a UX UI designer then go in the code base and start coding? I'm not sure, because I guess it depends on the project, but I would not imagine in the company that I work in that our designers would go into the code base and start touching things. because it's like, that's the thing, you know, it's like, I also used to think that just being a developer or just being a designer is just like about this tiny little thing, right? You have just like your little field and that's what you're specialized in, which is another topic. But like as a developer, I can now say that I have so many variables in my head about all the applications and how they work, how they're connected. If I change one thing, then some other thing is going to break. And it's kind of like the thing that everybody knows, right? Eventually, once you start working in some repository or another. And I wouldn't imagine just like somebody going inside and just like changing something. That would just piss me off, seriously. Like, yeah, I think that we all have our jobs and our responsibilities, but I guess actually on the other side of like designing in mind with coding or knowing how the things are being coded, that can be helpful. But I wouldn't expect a designer to code, I would say. Yeah, Daniela, coding is a whole another game, but knowing the basic HTML, CSS stuff helps the designer to create really applicable designs, right? Yep, yeah, I agree. I mentioned it before, the UX designer that I'm working with at work, he's very knowledgeable about those things. In fact, he has a computer science degree himself. So it has been super easy to work with him because it's always like, oh, this is going to be a component, this is going to be reusable, this we have, this we can take from here, this and this and this and this. So I agree that it's really beneficial if a designer does have that. But I also think that this comes with experience. So I wouldn't expect like in the beginning a designer to know all those things. But it also feels kind of like that this is part of the job, right? Like eventually you're like intersecting with like people and like if you're designing for the web, then you kind of need to know the way of how things work, right? But yeah, I agree. Probably HTML and CSS would be where I drew the line. But like I wouldn't expect them to know map loops, you know, or like I don't know, whatever it is, like increments of whatever, or modulo or something like that. But the DOM, how things are, I don't know, event listeners and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, probably, yeah. Over more senior designers, no, not beginners. At least that's my opinion. Exactly, good point. Yeah, good discussion. Thanks for opening it up. And Har says, I have a COVID tracker, basically API based, but I tried making it better with interactive charts and graphs using the data, but I failed miserably. Lol. Well, failing miserably is part of the process, isn't it? But why don't you try, I mean, if you have already the base for the logic, maybe try not using charts and graphs. Maybe just display the data. You can do it differently, right? I mean, if you're still interested in that project. But that's a good idea, though. I think the COVID tracker can be very, very popular now. So that's a good idea to do that, for sure. And also, like, if that's going to be like your only project, then spend time on it. Like, push it until the end. And also, if you failed while doing it in the first time, that will be a topic to tell during the interview, because they're always ask about failures and how you can overcome failures and what was the most recent failure that you had. So here's a real life example and you don't need to invent anything, you know? So use that to your advantage. That's what I would say. All right, should we continue coding a little bit? So we did our prop headline and we did our icon, not icons. And now comes the thing where I said that I don't know how we should proceed. So maybe before that, let's maybe put in all of our sections and pass the headlines. What do you say? That's gonna be nice. That's gonna be nice, 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 nice. Haha, I could use that, thanks. Yeah, you see? Always use everything. Write it down so then you can come to the interview and start like bombing them with like, this experience, I have that. Here's my example. And like said, this is really nice way. Yeah, you mean for about the interview stuff? All right, let me put the card stuff. Boom, all our awesome cards. So now we need to pass the headline. And usually if you like would have only a card and a headline and without any further props, which is not our case, then I would probably like create a map, like a loop over here in order not to repeat that, but it's fine. So what's gonna be our next one? Let me put this down a little bit if you're checking that. So most viewed product. Oh no, did I cut it out? Why do I keep doing this? I'm my own bug creator. Why? Most viewed product. Then we have here most profitable sections. Most profitable sections. Devashish, hello, hello, good evening. Good to see you here. So then we have most profitable categories. Do you say categories or categories? I feel like because so many people, myself included, we're like not native English speakers, and also like there are so many English versions that it's kind of like you're already kind of like speaking your own immigrant English, you know, all over the world. So categories, I think. No, I think it's categories. Yeah. Categories, categories, categories. Categories. Oh wow, this can, and the more you say it, the less it makes sense. So, doesn't matter. First one, categories. Categories. Category. I just know it from RuPaul's Drag Race. Category is... So it's always kind of, you know, before you say a word, you actually play it in your head and you're like, how do I say it? How do I say it? How do I say it? And then, boom, you say it wrong. Or not wrong. But yeah. If there are any native speakers around here, let us know. I'm also a non-native English speaker, but yours is also closer to American like mine. Yeah, I know. I have been hearing many people saying that mine is closer to American. I grew up in Israel, and they're very Americanized there. So I guess that's where it's coming from. But at some point, like my English became with a little bit of a Russian accent, and now it's probably a little bit of an English with German accent, because I'm always like affected by the other language that is in the country where I'm living in. So yeah, it has done wonders to my English accent. But anyway, as long as we understand each other, that's fine. I mean, category or categories, I'm sorry if I'm shouting. Categories or categories, it's still the same word, right? So we're not going to be confused that much. And then most viewed products. General statistics. General. It must have been a unique experience. You mean speaking wrong? Your English accent like Indian, very smooth and clean. Do I sound like I have an Indian accent? That's a first one. And also, like, no shame on any accents, right? We're all here, like, expressing ourselves, and we all, or not all, but many people know many different languages and speak different languages. So, yeah. And there we have, look at this. Not at all, haha. Hey Marco, what's up? I don't know, maybe I'm like transforming into like some other accents while I'm not noticing it myself. Like one of my first obsessions, I remember, was not to have a Russian accent. I think I sometimes have it though, but yeah. No, I thought she's American at the first time I heard lol. Oh really? Yeah, you see, like people think that sometimes. I live in Dubai, believe me, it's not India. Okay. You're probably way not probably, you're closer to India than I am. Yeah, definitely. I've never been to India, so I don't know, but I mean you hear sometimes accents, right? There are like many people from India who are doing like YouTube videos, so you can hear it many times. And I also had a colleague from India, so yeah. But again, we all understand each other. I feel there is no Indian accents. In Indian, we have a number of accents. Oh, okay. See, this is probably like pretty ignorant of me, because I mean India is huge, right? And you have like very different like regions, and they're quite different from each other from what I hear, right? Like North India is very different from like South India. So I don't know much, but that's what I've been hearing and reading here and there. So yeah, I could imagine that also like the number of accents is different. Nope, I'm Indian. US accent matches you more. Yeah, I guess so. I'm from South America though. Oh, okay. Well, but like physically now you're closer to India. Then physically I am closer to India. That's what I meant. Geographically, that's the word. See. Also, do you all also have like sometimes this feeling that like being a little bit more stupid in English? Like I feel that if I would have been expressing my thoughts, I don't know, in Russian, then I'm way more intelligent in Russian than in English sometimes, because I've also like the vocabulary is a little bit more limited, and I don't know, when it's like not your native language, then it's a little bit different. But yeah. Yep, totally vibrant from north to south. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, but that's kind of like part of the history of India, right? Because of all the colonialism that happened, that it's kind of like, especially, I heard that especially that in Europe, and I never paid attention to that, you know, because I don't know, I didn't. That here when we say Indian food, then it's like, for Indian people, it's like, this is like such a generalization that it's like, why are you even doing that? You know, it's like, I don't know, it's like saying breakfast almost, you know, because that's how very diverse the options are. But yeah, maybe one day I'll go and explore it myself. I don't know, we'll see. So I guess I need to remove the background colors from the divs, because you see we have like little ears here on them. So bring back this. Very true. Yep. So what did I want to do? I wanted to go to the dashboard, and then I wanted to do the CSS of dashboard. There we go. You're always welcome. Oh, thank you. Yeah, but now not leaving anywhere. Although I do want to go somewhere. But we have now like another wave here coming, so I would not want to put not just like myself into risk, but you know, I don't want to travel to any community and then bring in stuff to that community and then overwhelming the local healthcare system. Although I do understand that with one person you're not going to overwhelm anybody, but if everybody thinks like that, then that causes a little bit of a crisis. So maybe one day when the world opens up, hopefully sooner than later, because you know, gonna remove all of our background colors. And what do we want to do next? Do you think that the title is a little bit too big? Oh, that's it, 7. Yay, the ears disappeared. Do you want to give it a little bit of a like shadow? Do we need a little shadow like this one has? Yeah, it has shadow, right? It has a little bit, yeah. Otherwise it's like too blank white and it doesn't pop. You know how like some designers say, so like designers among us confirm that that's true, that the clients, they just want to make it pop. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna make it pop. And why there is less subscriber? I'm also React developer and okay, sorry. Maybe you wanna say that again? I didn't read it. So where was I? All right, I wanted to add the shadow. So the shadow I wanted to take from our search bar. So if we go to our search bar to the CSS, we're gonna have here the box shadow, and just like shamelessly copy it, and we're gonna give it to the card. Boom. A little bit too much though, I think, right? We need to make it a little bit smaller. And this padding is like, it needs to chill. It's a little bit too much. So let's blur it more. No. This one was okay. Spread. No. 0, 0. 1, 1. I don't know. Like I like it when it's more spread. I don't like it like when it's very condensed. Maybe we need to change the color. Maybe we need to make it like brighter. Yeah, very subtle. Okay, I like this one. We are a little bit off of our color charts, but don't tell anybody, okay? So refresh it. Doesn't look that bad, right? It looks alright. You should play live background music with live coding. That's what I'm doing. You don't hear my music. So okay, I said also that the padding is quite extensive. A designer with HTML CSS skills from Istanbul watching this while eating dinner. That must be a first. Yeah, I think it's for sure a first that somebody says that, yeah. How are you, by the way? Are you now in Istanbul? I saw all the fires that are happening in Turkey. I hope you're okay. Also, I saw that like there are quite some more fires happening also in Greece, in Italy, in Spain. Like the whole Mediterranean is basically on fire. I don't know if you're now in Istanbul though, or if you're just from there. So padding. Yeah, I got too excited with this 2 REMs. Let's do 1 REM. 1 REM was fine. I don't know why I gave it 2. Here we give it 1. And then the spacing around it, we're gonna have 2. I think that one's okay. And also like this, it looks a little bit too big. Am I the only one having problem following her on IG, or it's with everyone? Oh, what's the problem? That would suck if people have problem following me on IG. So. Okay, so now we see that we also have times when it's squished together with the icon, and that's not nice. So I would suggest to add in our card to the icon, we should add classes, remember? Yes, unfortunately wildfires are going on in mostly forests, but some houses also burned, and I'm in Istanbul down. Thanks for asking. Okay, well then I hope you keep it safe. And I hope that the fires are gonna be resolved with least amount of loss. Can't see anything on her IG, total blank. I click follow, it doesn't get following. Oh, well, did you ever like send me some messages like of flirt or something? Because maybe then I have blocked you. That could have been a thing. I don't know. Or maybe like, I don't know, maybe there was something that was of a weird content. Because I usually don't have patience with that and I block straight away. There is too much going on. But if I blocked you for the wrong reasons, then I apologize. So classes I wanted to pass here. A girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. So the icon, I wanted to give it a margin left of 4. Quite open about it. Yeah. If there is something shady, it's gonna be gone. So you see how now that we added the margin left 4, which might be too much, we could make it like smaller, then now it kind of like put it lower. I warned about some issues related to cybersecurity and I think you got scared. Interesting. I do recall somebody saying me something about cybersecurity. Was it something that I didn't ask? Because then it just looks like spam. You know, like, also, like, sometimes people send me links that people that I don't know. And I'm like, I'm a web developer. I know about cross-site scripting. I know about phishing. You're targeting the wrong person. So, you know, it's a double protection here. But I'm sorry if that was not your intention. Like for me, there was no way of knowing. So anyway, what I was saying is that you see now that we added our margin left for here, then our text is now wrapping itself and it's not anymore so close to itself, which actually gives us a little bit of another problem, because now we aligned it center, right? And now our icon is also center, even though our line of the headline is bigger now. So there is one way to do it that I would prefer, I guess, is to align everything to the top, which I think we can just remove the align items center, not in here, but for example here. I'm gonna put align items. I actually thought that removing align items is just gonna put it back to the top, but it didn't. So baseline, okay. Let's swap it for baseline. So instead of align item center, is align items baseline. Save it. Yeah, nice. I think it's okay-ish now. What do you think? I mean, okay, if we go like into the nitty-gritty of this, we will never finish that. But I guess it's okay for now. Yeah, just being helpful. Didn't send any links anyways. It's okay if you feel so. I still remember the reply. Are you threatening me? Which I clarified. Oh yeah, I think so. I think I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was like a very, very weird message. Like imagine, like I wake up in the morning and I see somebody texting me about cybersecurity and about this should not be done, and I was like, what's that? I don't know. That's what I felt in the moment, so I can unblock you. I can search for you. I'll see if I find that. And again, you know, like when it's just a person that you don't know and they suddenly send you these things, like I guess you can understand me, right? But yeah. Apologies, as your intentions seem to be nice, although I still don't understand like the message. Right? So you were warning me about cybersecurity attacks? Or what? But it's fine. It's like, it's, how do you say it? It's spilled water. It's all right. No harm feelings. So now we're at the part where we would need to add some content inside of there, right? Is it an industry requirement to know Bootstrap? Because I'm starting and know nothing about it. No, not at all. It's not an industry requirement. I think Bootstrap is quite common, or used to be very common, at least when I started out. And many companies were using that. In general, I think you can select like any library just to get the hang of like using classes that you don't write yourself and reusing them. Because I'll tell you why. I remember in my first job, in the beginning, when I was given like my first feature, I was like, okay, you have to like show them, you have to do it. And I started like kind of like this, like with the dot card and the headline. I was starting to create like display flags and all of this kind of stuff. And then my boss comes and he's like, we actually have a library for that, so could you please use that? Because like otherwise you're being repetitive and you're declaring classes and you're declaring properties or attributes. Is it properties, attributes? Attributes, right? Or properties. With properties with values that are repetitive, so it's not really a clean code anymore. And I was like, oh shit, okay. And then I opened the utility class that they had. They had their own library. They didn't use like Bootstrap and stuff. And oh, hey Anurag, thanks for subscribing. And I opened that utility thing and I was like, okay. And there were many things to use there. So I would say the main thing of using a CSS library is to get the hang of searching for classes that can suit your need and reusing them. and mostly they're like smaller classes, so utility classes. And utility, I mean, is like this. You see MB-0, this is a utility class. So it's not like a .card class that has all of those properties. It's like a very tiny, it's like usually one property, right? That you're just like put in, and then you can chain them or like add them on together. And as a tip, if whatever library you're loading, I would suggest, if let's say there's no documentation about it, or if it's like a homemade, some library of some company, then you can inspect an element, any element, and then you go into here, into add new class, and that's how I learned Bootstrap. And you press A, for example, and then you start seeing all the classes that start with A that this library offers, you know. And in case that you want to use Flex, you put Flex and you start seeing what they have here, you know. And once you, let's see if there is something that applies to us. No, nothing. I think they had like a badge. Let me show you on here better. So if we take badge, you see, like once you go through this drop down, you can also see how it applies and kind of like get the feel about the library. So that's what I would say is the main goal of learning any type of CSS library, because, you know, things change, libraries change. Today it's Bootstrap, tomorrow is Tailwind CSS, another day is, I don't know, whatever it is, probably being invented at this right moment. And the idea is just like to know how to work with those tools, right? And as soon as you get the hang of learning how to work with those tools, then you're going to be able to apply this knowledge to any library that comes your way. So I would say that. But probably, well, I don't know. Have you checked around like with jobs requirements in your area if they require Bootstrap? Because I think that the newest hot shit is Tailwind CSS. So maybe that can be helpful. I don't know. We could do like something with Tailwind CSS later on, because I would like to use it. I think it's pretty nice. So what were we doing? All right. So we wanted, let me also kind of like make this font smaller, because I think it's a little bit too big. Font size. What if we do 1 rem? It is already 1 rem. So 0.8. Yeah, I think that one's nice. And now the icon looks a little bit big. See, like this thing can never end. This is gonna continue forever. Thank you, you're welcome. It was some story or post that bugged me. Can't remember what exactly, but it's all right. Okay. As long as we have no hard feelings, we can move forward, right? Peace, peace. So, icon. I wanted to make the icon smaller. So let's try and make it smaller. And we remember, or I remember, that we have a width prop that we can pass. So if we do 10, oh, okay, that was actually very small. Or if we do 1, 1 is too small. If we do 4, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, 3 is fine, right? I think 3 is fine. Let's keep it 3. Nice. Are 3D libraries like 3JS of any use in the professional world, or is it just a fancy thing? Is it this thing where you display data, right? There's like this D3JS, right? It's like the data visualization stuff, right? What is the 3JS? Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. I think unless you're working like in a very specific company where you need to work with those libraries. And I actually had a colleague from my bootcamp who was interviewing for a company that gave them a coding challenge with D3. And that was that was a requirement because that company worked only with that library and their whole business was around it. So I guess it is helpful to know that. No, you can search 3JS, yeah. And in general, I don't think it's too common to use it. But also on the other hand, if a company is like, so it's still JavaScript, right? And it's about reading the documentation and figuring out how it works. So can be fancy to know it, but I don't think, so it would not be on the same level as knowing React, for example, you know, or knowing like ES6 syntax or JavaScript and stuff like that. I think it's like much further down the line. Yeah. I don't know too many people who are using that professionally. There are, of course, people who are using that, but I would say it's more of the on the lower side of numbers of people who are using it. It's pretty specific. In data companies and probably like if you're working with business analysts and if you need to help them display data, or maybe you have customers who want to have like admin dashboards with data there, so you would probably be using that. But that really depends. Like I'm also using, no, I'm not using, but in my company we have people who are working with admin dashboards and there is no 3JS or D3 there. It's not a common thing because that's also very resourceful, right? To use those libraries. So I feel I should like have merged like it depends, because it's like it really depends. It always depends on everything. So yeah. If you're wondering if you should learn that or some other tech like Express or Vue.js or something like that, then I think you have better chances of using the last ones that I mentioned. No. But that's just my opinion. I don't know if there are any other devs around. Feel free to give your input. Okay, so let's focus here for a second, okay? So we said that we need to put here now basically children, right? And they're going to be different. So how are we going to do that? Let me try one thing that I'm not usually doing, but I want to see if it works. I want to be able, let me show you what I want to do first. So I want to be able to put here a variable. Let's put here a variable. It's not going to be called variable, right? But just think that this is a variable. I'm going to comment it now, so it's not going to give me issues. So I want to put here a variable that is going to be passed as a prop. And this variable is going to hold all the children that are going to be rendered here. Not all, per card. And I don't know if that's going to work, but we can try it. So this way, it would mean that whenever we use it in here, we would actually pass it like this, and here you would have like the children, right? So you would have like a p tag and then something else you can put, and this is going to be taken as children, passed as a prop, and then we can use it in the component. And I think we should do that. And this can also be its own component, right? Later on. I have it as a vision in my head, and I don't know if I delivered it verbally to you. But let's try it out. Let's, for example, say, let me revert that. Let's say that in here, so in our first section, which is the AirPods and these two things, okay, as a starter, let's just like pass a paragraph called child on the child. So is it gonna work? So in here I want to have, it's a reserved thing called children, And can we pass it like this, children? Is it gonna work? He did, yay! Okay, it needs to be here because we don't want to flex it. Yeah. Nice. It's not a very common usage, but I think it has a very valid use cases. Like this case, right? Where we have kind of like our headline is the same, and then we have this stuff. They all look alike, but the content is different. Alrighty, then let's start building. So also we're gonna have kind of like two items. Whoop. Scroll a little bit. So we're gonna have two items that are kind of looking the same, right? It has an image. It has this icon, text, icon, text. This also has image, icon, text, icon, text. So this could be a component, but how would you name that component? Because this is like best-selling product and then most viewed product. Maybe we can just name it like single product, because the rest is, all right, this jump. The rest is like a table thing or like a chart, right? This categories, top, most, sections, statistics, products. So let's call it maybe like single product. What do you say? And then to that one, we can pass props like the image and this stuff and this stuff. Okay, let's play around, because we could like practice our props skills of setting and sending and all of that. So for that, should we first maybe write the HTML here to understand if it works or not? No. Let's create another component. So we said it's going to be called single product. And here it is. And then it's going to be index.js, edc, single product. Do you hear the music? Or is it too low still? Single product, and then single product .gs6, RCC, single product. It's very repetitive, all this stuff. And then import. Okay. And here now, we're gonna have, so we're gonna build this structure that we have here with the AirPods. Okay, so first we have an image, right? And everything here is gonna be like a prop. So here is gonna be image source. Alt, we can name it as image alt. And then we're gonna have a div in which we're gonna have a p tag with an icon and some number, right? What's gonna be the number? What is this? Is it like, it's not only views, it's also sales. gonna be like a statistics, stat. Is stat a singular for stats? Let me say yes. That doesn't make sense to me. Amount. Although amount doesn't sound nice, but whatever, let's roll with that. And then we're gonna have another P where, so actually this one can be like an H4 because it's a little bit on the bigger side. And then we have another icon, and here we're gonna have our percentage in percent, right? Yeah. So let's pass our props here. Image source, then image alt, then amount, and percentage. Cool. And let's import our icon. Yeah, nice. So the thing about this icon is it can be or the $sign or the I. How can we call it? What do you say? Should we do like So the thing is, what I want to do, the icon should be if something is true, then it needs to be USD, else it needs to be the I. So this way we have one placement of an icon, but we can select which one of those two icons we want to render. Or we could pass it as a prop as well. But I would say if it's like a very specific... No, you know what? I think this one we should pass in as a prop, because what if you have another card and you want to use another icon? So it's gonna be not nice. However, the icon in here, which is an uptrend or a downtrend, this one can be like or, right? There is no like other option, it's or up or down. So here we can check. We could pass a variable like so the icon is going to be is uptrend, and if it is, then we're going to say uptrend icon, and if it's not, then it's downtrend icon. And this is uptrend is going to be passed to us here. So that's a lot of props to pass, but we're gonna make it. First, let's check if our icons are actually called like this. No, what are you doing? Icon. So which one do we have? We have our downtrend. Oh, I didn't do the uptrend. Oopsie. Okay, for now, I'm not gonna import now the uptrend because I don't have it. But let's maybe do stats, right? And I'm gonna do here, import uptrend icon. Alrighty, now let's use this component. That's gonna be fun. So single product, I'm gonna put it here down. So we're gonna have an overview. Oh, that's too many. Here. And let's go to dashboard. And now here we want to use our single product, right? So we imported it now. I did it by just confirming that this is the component I want, and Visual Studio Code renders everything for me. So here is all of our stuff that we want to pass as props. That's fun. So, and usually you would get this probably from a database. I mean, the amount and the percentage, but we're just going to invent our own. So curly brackets to all of them. Image source in a second. Amount is going to be what? It's going to be 12.545, which eventually you could probably have like a formatter, but we're going to just write it as is. 545. And then the percentage is going to be a 3.54. And icon is going to be, why did I put everywhere curly brackets? There is no need for that. USD, and then is uptrend. I'm going to put it as true. Or you don't have to put it as true, just by including this prop, by just like writing it there, it's already considered true. So we can keep it like that. Then our image source. Let's start importing images. We want the AirPods, and I have prepared an assets folder in our source folder where we have our AirPods. I shrink the images, I optimize them, so they should be all right. Although, of course, there's always more room for optimization, but it's gonna work for now. So, AirPods image from, and this is how you need to import assets, because Webpack is then aware of it and then compiles it when the app builds before you publish it online, which is called deployment. So just keep it like that. Then we have the image alt, which is AirPods Pro. Wow, look at this. Very nice. So our image should have styling. That's why it's so big now, because we don't restrict it to anything. We just tell it, hey image, just go with the flow and be a free bird, but not in our case. So single product, where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay. So this image needs to have a class or a width. No, it's gonna have a class name because we're gonna control it from the CSS. Styles dot style sheets. No, styles dot image. Okay, that's why. Styles from, there we go. And now we're gonna do dot image, and it's gonna be width 100%. Save it, and it's not gonna change anything, right? But we can also limit the height of it. Or maybe we should actually limit the height of it instead of the width. Maybe that's gonna be even smarter. So height should be 10%. No, I don't know what I'm writing here. Actually, I remember now that Bootstrap has a class, image responsive or something like that. Let's check this out. So image fluid, yeah. I don't know what they do. It's some magic that they're doing. I never actually checked like deep down inside what's going on there, but I really like this class, and sometimes when I code without Bootstrap, I really miss this class. So save it. And now we also want this div to have a class name of display flags. Yeah. Can you push our image a little bit to the side, please? Well, why is it going outside of it? Why it's not maintained inside? Because of the image, right? So width, max width is gonna be 50%. 40%. Your Learn by Ear project seems interesting. Could you tell me in brief how you did that? I was just going through the source code. Well, actually Learn by Ear is up for a big refactoring. It's something me and my partner built. He's a musician, so we're trying to get him a portfolio project. And now it's kind of like a pet project that is now being developed to continue helping musicians. How we did that, so when it comes to like the exercises, I had absolutely no idea about the logic because I'm not a musician, but it's React based, it's server-side rendering, and it has this cool what is it, framework or library called Matter.js that involves physics, and that's what you see, this like poof, that happens on the pages. And wow, that was probably the only time where I really used math when I was when I'm doing web development. But yeah, the struggle of doing Learn by Ear was about mainly working with audio, because different browsers, and there is a chance that some functionality is going to be broken for you now because we didn't update it like in a year, which is apparently a lot for this type of project. And the audio in different browsers with new like rules about what you're allowed to do on load, what you're not allowed to do on load, what users allow you to do in the browser. That was the biggest challenge, and still stays the biggest challenge of this app. But yeah, we're trying to refactor it to make it more robust to different platforms and to extend some functionality, update Node.js, you know, this kind of like fun stuff, update the packages, and still having server side. We first built it without server side, and then realized that we want to use the search engine optimization. So like we want to rank in Google and we want to like add some stuff there. So overnight we had to create it in Next.js. So yeah, I wonder how the source code looks like there, because I didn't check it, but that's what we were doing. We're using Bootstrap there as well. Bootstrap, ReactJS, Next.js, and some music libraries, and that's it. Oh, actually that current version even uses font awesome, but I'm gonna be removing that because it's just, I think it's an overkill to use font awesome for like 4 icons, you know. So yeah, but thanks for checking it. Did you play around? Did it work for you? Because I actually showed it to my ex-boss and he was like, Daniela, what did you do? It's not working. And I was like, dude, you just don't know how to use it. But yeah, that was like an embarrassing moment because I was like, look what we did. He's like, Daniela, it's not working. I'm like, damn it. So yeah. But also, that project is very, very, very big, and you need to think about it as a junior developer, as well as back then a little bit more experienced developer than a junior was building it. So 2 people were involved there, and for 1 person to build that project is a lot, especially for a beginner. But it was a very good thing to show on the portfolio. And I think, I don't know, well, no, there was no Learn by Ear when I was interviewing, so I didn't show it on my portfolio. But I think I would definitely put it now on my portfolio if I would be like interviewing somewhere, because I think it's pretty cool. I think that was all what I have to say about Learn by Ear. I was actually thinking to stream how I refactor Learn by Ear, but without like major explanations, just to I don't know, just like take you along the journey of refactoring stuff and showing you, I don't know, my embarrassing code of a 1.5-1-year-old. I guess. Yeah. I'm not a musician myself, but it seemed to work fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I understood nothing. Yeah. Also, there's another thing there, that there's like a cookie consent, and there is like this whole laws now, right, that you cannot just like automatically consent people to cookies. We're not really using any cookies there. It's just like for Google Analytics, for us to understand if there is a traffic in the website, and that's it. But I'm also changing that in order for users to be able to opt out, because also if you're like playing the game or like doing the exercises, then for your own progress, we don't use this data, but for your progress, we're saving it in your local storage, and that's also not allowed, I think. We just had like this big discussion at work. Of course, like for a big corporation, it's much more different than for 2 people who are building like a little tiny app. But in general, like I'm working now on removing the consent, the automatic consent, you know, it's kind of like a dark pattern. Because yeah, things have changed and you're not allowed to just store information about people in their browsers without them allowing you to do that. So yeah. But that's also another thing that we're doing. So like if you play around there, if you play like one exercise, like go for the single nose and just like click A B to just like get till the end, and then when you go to the page of the course, you will see how much percentage you have completed of the total course. So that's what we're storing. I think it's pretty cool. And that's where I was learning how to do like this rounded circle of SVG to show progress. But yeah, those were fun times. Those were also the times where I was taking PTOs, like time off from work, in order to work and learn by ear. And that's not something I can recommend, because eventually I didn't have a rest at all. But hey, my partner got a job, so we're good now. So, oh, and to be fair, he was mentioning that I was helping him because, you know, you need to be a little bit more fair with people and honest about the skills that you're bringing to the table in order for your, I don't know, interviewers to understand which skill set you're bringing, you know, how much help will you need, and what do you already know, what possibly you will need to relearn or face. So yeah, being upfront is important. Alrighty, our little image. Let's do justify content space between. Oh, why am I doing justify space between? Justify content between. There we go. And then we want to align all of this. Text, right? Yeah. Or is it not like that? No, it's not like that. That was me inventing stuff. Okay. Revert. Alrighty. Our icons do have a margin. So classes is, well, I can do it like this. Margin right of 4. Yeah, very nice. And then we also have the colors of it, right? So that's what we're going to be using, the is up trend. So for example, the percentage, So the class name, we're gonna be like, is uptrend. Then we want to use text. Is it green? Does it have this thing? It doesn't. Oh yeah, because I didn't finish it. Else, nothing. But I think you can also do it like this, is uptrend and end text green. Because then it would mean that if this is true, then text green. However, in our case, we're gonna have is uptrend, then text green. If not, then text danger. That's Bootstrap classes. And like if you want to go even further, then let me show you another trick. But ideally, you would not do it like this. Ideally, this is how you would do things. But if we want to be a little bit more like with a twist, then we would do text, then you open like JavaScript stuff, right? Is upcoming trend, then you would write green, also in a string, else danger. So this way, eventually, JavaScript is going to be giving you or green or danger, and your whole class name is going to be text dash green or danger. Right? So, what did I do? Huh? Why did it all like, what did I do? Do I need to specify the height for this? Oh no, I did the max width. I didn't put the max width. Wait a second. Single product. So dot image max width is gonna be 40%. And here we have the styles and the image. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work because now image fluid has max width of 100%. Yeah, screw image fluid, it's fine. Let's do styles.image, save it. There we go, very cute. And this one, do we need to put a height of auto? I don't think so, right? Yeah, it didn't change anything, that's fine. I think we need to limit our max width of it, or it's actually going to be pushed once we have more elements here. So I think it's going to be fine. Keep it like this for now. That's very disturbing. But also remember that once we're going to have a smaller screen size, then all of our cards are going to go one on top of each other. So it's fine. This is kind of like the thing that is going to happen. Hello, Dana, and all. Sorry, I'm very late. Hey, Matt. How's it going? Yeah, there's no such thing as being late for a live stream. But we have been here for almost 2 hours. Yeah. But welcome. How's it going there? No dinner today? So, right, so why is our text green is not applying? Have here text green, or is it font? No, text. So danger would work, and then what was the green one? See, this is how I also check stuff. There we go, success, right? Yeah, that's what Bootstrap has success and danger. So there we go. But now we need this color in it's going okay. Yeah, of course there is the all right. But eating popcorn at the moment. Oh, nice. I'm wondering if that's as entertaining watching this live stream as watching a movie. Now I also want a popcorn. What's your favorite popcorn? I really like popcorn that has cheese on it. I don't know. Is that weird? Or do you like plain popcorn? Okay, so we have the text as green, right? But we also want our icon to be green. And that's a tiny bit of an issue right now, because the way how we pass color to our icon is through a prop called color. But now I'm wondering if we're gonna pass actually classes, if that's gonna apply. Is it gonna override it? Let's try. Text success. Yeah, that's not gonna do shit. Okay, so we do need to pass it as color. And in here, we'll need to pass the hashes. So these ones, the text success actual value. So yeah, that's not ideal, but that's fine. Yeah, I really don't like it, but right now I cannot think of a better idea how to do it. So due to the lack of any imagination at the moment, we're gonna do it like this. I don't think we need the hash. We can just do it like that. And then if we check text danger is gonna be this one. All right. Do we need the hash? No, come on. Where's the icon? Let's open the icon, and then we're gonna go to our stats. Oh, maybe there was no prop. No, there is a prop. Color. Yeah, I do pass this hash. Fine. So where is the single product? There. Let's put the hashes. This and this. Save it. And there we go. Oh, that's the opposite. What? No, that's correct. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's entertaining enough to warrant popcorn. And 5 is salted and toffee. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, you know which one I tried recently? There was this. What's this? There's like this famous caramel candy brand. This one, Werther's Original, and they do popcorn, and that's like Werther's Original caramel. Who cares about calories? Caramel popcorn. Ugh. Popcorn. I don't know if that's a German edition that they put pretzels in there. Don't go for that. Can't you just type the name of the prop as the class? What do you mean? Here? Or you mean this? Anyway, I got distracted by popcorns. So, I actually don't like this green color anymore. I think we should come up with our own greens. Who cares about calories? Seriously, like this is like screw calories. Let's enjoy the popcorn. No. Okay, I'll figure out the green color off screen one day. But for now, I don't like it. Just so you know. Hey Ali, quick question. I have a website 1 and a website 2. I'm wondering, is it possible when a user signs up on website 1, it will automatically create a user on website 2 and manage both websites? I think if you have a shared database, it could create automatically a user there, right? So your website 2 just needs to read it out. But it's probably not gonna authenticate the user automatically, like because of cookies and tokens and stuff like that. I wouldn't do that. But yeah, sure. If you have the same database, I don't know how shady it is for the user, because the user will probably want to know if they are creating a user on one website or another. So I don't know about how good this practice is, but technically I guess it's possible, yeah. Especially if you manage both, if you have the same database. So, right. Where you're stating class, can't you conditionally render the class text danger if this condition is met? I'm coming from view, so sorry. Can't you conditionally render the class text danger? Oh, you mean like is uptrend, then do this, else this, like that? Because I think in view you have something like this, right? You have like is uptrend, then you're gonna render text danger, right? I love view, so view is awesome. But in React you have something that you can do it like the JavaScript style. You can do it like this, text danger, and that's gonna be kind of like the equivalent of this class, not class, of the object that view has. So yeah. But in our case, we actually want like a ternary operator, because if it's not an uptrend, then you want to do this. Although then you could argue that you can have like a default class, and if it's an uptrend, then you would change the class, right? There's so many possibilities. So I like to put it like this. I don't like the creation of the like text dash something something. That was just like an example how to create things. Success. Okay. So we said we're going to import the icon. I'm going to do that. And the layout is a little bit of a mess for now. I hope that it's only for now a mess. It's going to be improved. What else did I want to do? So there is no sense in working with the proportion of the icons for now, I guess. Are the colors different? Yeah, okay, so this color needs to be different. This color needs to be kind of the same as the icon. And let's give it then a class name of styles dot what is it, amount. Again, questionable name, but okay. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yep. Amount, the amount, and then here color. Again, so you see, again, the benefit if we would be using our CSS variables is that we would not be needing to go every time and find like this value of the color and again give to it and then use it. But as again, we learn from our pain in development. Doesn't apply to real world. That's not a good phrase. But in development, it's fine. So Ali says, it's two applications that I want users to have access to seamlessly. For example, on website 1, when the user is logged in, they can see the dashboard and menu buttons, but also there would be a button that will redirect them to second web app. Yeah, that's totally possible. but chances are that at least once they will have to log in again. That I think that depends how you authorize or how you check that the user is logged in. But I would suggest not to like redirect users and like log in them on the flow, I guess. You know what I mean? Like if it's the first time that the user goes from one website to another website, then let them log in, I guess. I don't know. I guess depends on the use case and depends on the platform. But that would be my kind of gut feeling. At least I, as a user, I would like to know that I'm being logged in another place. Or maybe that's just gonna contribute to the shadiness. I don't know. That's the decision. That's like part of the decisions that you need to make as a developer. Maybe somebody else has any other opinion. Should that be a thing or how it should be done? So it's a little bit out of proportion right now. Oh, so you know what I also want to do? I want to put it like kind of like in the middle. Let's select this and there we go. No. I was like, what? We didn't give it a flex? Yeah, we did it. So what if we do align? I like to do just like this and see what stuff I get. I'm joking, I'm just getting tired. What I want to do is I want to like push it down a little bit. And this can be done. So you can do that with like margins, but if you want to make it flexible, then I think we would need to wrap it in another div. No, do we? No, right? Wait a second, so let's go to our dashboard. In our dashboard, that's where we have our single product. You want to like put our second single product just for fun? No, I'm not going to do that now. What I do want to do is this part. I want to align it. So we need to go to the card because there we have children. All over the place today. There we go, card. And those children, there we go. So this div, we want to, let me show you here in the inspector. So now we have a div that is holding. Oh, only this, really? What? It's not holding our image? Excuse me? Single product has an image and has a div here. What are you talking about? Oh, that's not this div. Being aggressive with divs here that don't deserve it. Sorry, div. Okay. Probably if that div would be on Instagram, I would block it, huh? Deflex, justify content, center. We don't need that center, that gives us 0 benefit. Align items, center. Hey? Excuse me? All right, because we need to give it a height. Yeah. So it was not working, like the alignment in the center wasn't working because you see the blue thing? That's the height of the div and also the height of the elements inside of the div. So there was no space to align anything anywhere. right? It's like it's already like kind of like packed till the borders. Now, as soon as we expand the div's height and we expand it like this, you know I'm tired when I start speaking with my fingers. So you put the height like this, and if we hover on it, you see the height is now stretched to 100% wherever it could stretch, and now it can align it actually in the center. So that's what we did here. Now I feel that this margin left of 4 is a little bit too big. Let's do margin left 2. And so what do we need to do here? If we remove that and we put, there is like a 800. Yeah, I really dislike usually using this class because I feel like it's being overused and abused by some people. Not gonna name names, but I think in this point it's valid to use it. And we're gonna apply all of those classes here. So class name, since we don't have any variables or any styled styles from our card.module.css, we're just gonna pass it as a string. Deflex align. So I'm just typing whatever we have applied here. Align items center, and then H100. Doesn't really matter like the order of them because they don't override each other. They're responsible for different things. So now no matter how big or how small our thing is going to go, it's always going to be in the center, which is hard to see with this picture, but it's gonna. Once we, as I said, once we put more of items in it, it's gonna be more clear. And for now, I think if we keep it at this size, it doesn't look that bad, right? I think our Dashi Dash is still looking dashy, and it's pretty nice. So yeah. We have been streaming for 2 hours, 13 minutes, and I think, yeah, that's about it for today. I woke up quite early, around like 5 o'clock, so I'm kind of out already mentally. Tomorrow we're going to continue creating more of those cards. We're going to start putting more children inside of them, and hopefully we're going to start seeing more of the outline, how this whole thing is going to look like once we're done. And yeah, I always say that maybe we're going to be done tomorrow, but we're not going to be done tomorrow because I also want to do like some hover states, hopefully maybe like some clicking, and maybe we could actually get some data from like a JSON file or something, you know, kind of like mock it or something. But that's maybe that's too advanced for this type of project. Maybe we can do that with our next project with React once we have like maybe an API, or I mean even without an API, if we have just like some base data of something, could be nice. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks everyone for joining. It was always a blast, a very nice chat. Let me check what did you say in the poll. So I put a poll when to stream, Monday to Friday or Monday to Thursday. 24 people have voted. Wow. And 75% said Monday to Friday. Well, okay. I was thinking about doing Monday to Friday anyway, but I guess it's good to know that you're also going to be here. I hope. I'm going to end the poll now. And there we go. Here's our verdict. Monday to Friday it is. So yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for the chat. Always happy to hear your questions and everything. Awesome stream. Thanks, Matt. Thank you for joining. Hope your popcorn is very tasty. And I hope to see you tomorrow, same place, same time. I'm gonna wish you a good day, evening, night, wherever you are. Stay safe and see you tomorrow. Bye. I was only thinking you could have a break. Yeah. Until tomorrow. Long break. See ya, everyone. Bye-bye.